Welcome back to the deep dive. We're here again to, cut through all that noise and get you really well informed. Today we're tackling something I know is on a lot of minds. How do you navigate, all this uncertainty swirling around in business right now? I mean, just look around. You got uncertain tariffs, global conflicts heating up, tax changes maybe coming down the line, buyers getting hesitant. It's easy to feel pretty swamped, isn't it? So, yeah, how do we make sense of it?
You've hit the nail on the head. That feeling, it's real. It's what military strategists actually have a term for, VUCA. That's volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. And the key thing for us, in the business world is that this isn't just some academic concept anymore, this VUCA thing. It's the day-to-day reality for business owners trying to make, really tough calls.
Okay, so VUCA, if that's our backdrop, then the big question has to be, how do you not just, tread water, but actually thrive in these conditions? Our deep dive today suggests the answer really lies in leaning into clarity and specifically orienting around value. That means the value of your company itself and just as important, the value you create for your customers consistently.
Exactly right. And the main tool, the framework we're going to unpack for this, is something we call the OODLA loop. Think of it like a compass, really,
Yeah.
to guide you through the fog towards confident, value-focused action. When we say value orientation, what we mean is strategically aligning every single thing you observe, every decision, every action with boosting value for the company and for the customer. It's a whole way of thinking.
A compass through chaos. I like that. And it's interesting, this OODLA loop, it actually started out in the military, didn't it? It was originally the OODLA loop, observe, orient, decide, act, designed for, fast decisions when the stakes are high. Precisely. A really solid foundation. But for business, we felt something was missing, a key element. So we expanded it. We added listen, L for listen. That's how ODA became OODLA. And we think that makes it a much more complete cycle for leaders trying to navigate today's complex world.
OODLA. Okay, got it.
Mm-hmm.
So we understand the environment. We have our framework. Where do we start? The loop kicks off with step one, observe. And you mentioned in a world demanding speed, it seems like the big risk is just reacting, right? Knee-jerk leadership.
Mm-hmm.
But real wisdom, the kind that leads to, actual breakthroughs, that seems to start with listening, taking that time.
Oh, absolutely critical. So many companies jump to action, maybe based on incomplete information. So who do you listen to? Well, first, your own people, your employees. What are they seeing on the front lines? What insights do they have that, you might miss from the executive suite? I had a client, their customer service team picked up on this really subtle shift in what customers wanted just from daily chats. Saved them launching a product that would have flopped.
Then naturally, your customers, what outcomes are they really after right now? Not just features, but outcomes. What new problems are they facing that maybe you could solve?
Mm-hmm.
And don't overlook your advisors, your board, if you have one. Or, hey, maybe it's time to pull together what Napoleon Hill called a mastermind group. What are they seeing out in the market? Hill put it so well in Think and Grow Rich, didn't he? Deliberation is the seed of wisdom. And with that mastermind group, you plant the seed, you harvest good decisions. It's not just smart friends. It's a structured group for that collective insight. So listening across the board, it creates that space for real insight, builds the foundation for better choices. It avoids just, spinning your wheels in analysis paralysis too by focusing observation.
That makes a lot of sense. Okay, so once you've done that deep listening, that observation, what's next? That brings us to step two, orient. This is where you consciously position your whole business, actually, around value, both kinds of value.
Exactly. Yeah. Orienting around value. So what does that look like practically?
Yeah.
For the business itself, you start asking, are we actually measuring our valuation,
Right.
tracking it? How do we make our EBITDA, the core profit, more consistent, more scalable?
Right.
Are we effectively growing new business and also selling more to existing clients? Can we make the business run, less dependently on the owner? That makes it way more attractive down the road.
Mm-hmm. Less risk.
And are there processes we can optimize? Cut risk, boost profit. Think about a company maybe focused only on market share before. Orienting to value might show them their most valuable customers are actually a smaller group. That changes everything.
I see.
Then for your customers, it's about digging into how they're changing. The market's shifting them too. What slightly different outcomes do they need now? How can you tweak your offerings or maybe create new ones to line up with that? And what struggles do they have that you were just uniquely perfect to solve? This whole strategic practice, calibrating around value drivers, valuation, and customer outcomes, that's value orientation. It's absolutely foundational for lasting growth. Skip this and you risk, well, missing the boat or just becoming irrelevant.
Okay, orienting is key. And then before we jump to deciding, the ODLA loop adds something, well, maybe a bit unexpected in a business context. Step 2.1, pray. Why is that in there? It seems like it's about tapping into something deeper than just data.
It is. And look, for many people, this is literally prayer, seeking that divine wisdom. James 1.5 says, if any of you lacks wisdom, let him ask God.
Mm.
For others, it might look like deep meditation, quiet reflection, philosophical thinking. The point is, it's creating intentional space for discernment, something that goes beyond just the numbers and the analysis.
So it's about wisdom, not just knowledge.
Precisely. Leaders need more than just data, especially now. We need a deeper kind of clarity and actually building these moments of quiet of reflection into your strategic planning. That's not weakness. It's not a nice to have. It's a real strategic advantage. There's even a book, Beyond Knowledge, that argues this kind of wisdom unlocks insights data can't give you. It builds ethical clarity, resilience, a sense of purpose beyond just the next quarter's results.
That's a powerful perspective. So, okay, you've observed, you've listened, you've oriented around value, you've sought that deeper wisdom. Now it's time for step 3. Decide, making the call.
Right. And Napoleon Hill pops up again here, doesn't he? He said something like, successful people make decisions quickly and change them slowly, if ever. Indecision, just sitting on the fence. That's the real enemy of getting anywhere. Once you're oriented, once you've sought wisdom, you've got to move. And the decisions you make, especially in uncertain times, they have to be anchored in value. Ask, does this increase our business value? Does this deliver the absolute most value to our ideal customers?
Clarity on value drives the decision.
Exactly. Think about companies that waited too long on a key market shift. They hesitated, and a smaller, quicker competitor just ate their lunch. And Hill also stressed getting wise counsel, right? That mastermind idea again. Surround yourself with trusted advisors, board members, key execs, maybe external partners. Filter your options through their wisdom, their experience. But there's a balance. Action without a clear decision, that's just chaos. But a decision without any follow-up action, that's just wasted effort. The goal is confident movement, always towards creating more value.
Which leads us perfectly to the final step. Step 4, act. After all the pausing, orienting, reflecting, deciding, now it's time to execute. Put it into motion.
Yep, Napoleon Hill again. Action is the real measure of intelligence. All that thinking and planning, it doesn't mean much if you don't do anything, right?
Right.
Bold action that's truly aligned with creating value, that's what really separates the companies that are thriving right now from the ones just sort of getting by.
So how do you act to create value? What does that look like?
Well, for the company itself, you create value when you, say, grow your revenue, both new customers and more from current ones, maybe with a solid revenue growth engine. Focus strategies for leads, conversion, keeping clients happy. You boost profitability by optimizing processes, cutting out waste. You build an amazing place to work with a culture development engine, get your team fired up and innovative. And you drive excitement with a strategic innovation engine, creating those new solutions that make the market sit up and take notice.
And this all connects back to the customer.
Absolutely has to.
Yeah.
All that company value creation. It's anchored in customer value. Focus your marketing on the outcomes you deliver, not just listing features. Constantly look for ways to make their experience better. And, crucially, solve the new problems they're facing now. Companies leading through VUCA don't shrink back. They double down. They recommit to creating serious value.
Okay, so let's pull this all together for everyone listening. What's the big takeaway here? It feels like in these really uncertain times, we don't just need more information, more noise. What we really need is more wisdom. And this ODLA loop, it gives a really practical, actionable way to find that.
That's the goal. It's a framework built for times like these. Observe deeply. Orient around value. Decide with wisdom, maybe incorporating that reflective, prayerful element. Listen constantly. And then act. Confident, value-driven action.
So leading with this kind of mindset, it sounds like you can do more than just survive the chaos. You can actually build a company that truly thrives, one that creates real lasting value for your team, for your customers, and yeah, for your whole community. So here's something to think about. Looking at that ODLA loop, observe, orient, decide, listen, act, maybe with that price step in there. What's the one specific area you could focus on first to start unlocking new value in your own business? Definitely something to consider as you navigate your own VCA world.